Amy at EuroluxHome.com. Customers often ask us what a buying trip in Europe is really like because they think it sounds like a dream job. And while we absolutely love what we do, it really is not a walk in the park. So we thought we'd compile some old footage of a buying trip to show you what it's really like.
I'll also add that you'll hear me mention EuroluxAntiques.com, which used to be our website before we also started selling antique-inspired new furniture and home goods. So now we do business as EuroluxHome.com to reflect the expanded nature of our inventory. We begin by flying into Belgium and picking up the cargo van. And so now where are we going?
I'm going to buy some furniture. I've got my locations here, so I'm going to pull up my favorites. It already knows that I'm in Belgium. I don't even have to tell it because it's smart like that. And I'm telling it to go to one of my secret locations. And strategically, it's only 4 miles from here, so we will be there in no kind of time.
So within an hour of landing, we will already be buying. Hi, I'm Amy at EuroluxAntiques.com. So Greg and I have been on the buying trip for 3 days now, and we're often asked where we find our pieces when we come to Europe. And it's a variety of things. We have a ring of wholesale dealers. Yesterday we spent all day going to 4 different dealers. Some were new, we've never been before, and some we had been before. And today, since this morning, we've been out doing a street market. And as you look around, you see there's a lot of people, a lot of different kinds of merchandise. It's a lot of fun. It is like a scavenger hunt. We never know what we're going to see. But this is one of the fun parts of the job. And now we're going to go have lunch in the van and carry on to some more dealers that we're going to go visit. Thanks for listening. So Greg and I have been at an outdoor market since right about daybreak this morning, and we found a lot of good stuff for good prices, and we just finished carrying it all back to the van, and we packed it all up. We have it loaded back there so that when we drive it won't get damaged, and then we just finished having lunch, and we have topped it off with Haribo gummy bears, which are one of my favorites. I really love them. So now we are off to several more dealers, and we'll spend the rest of the day busy buying more stuff, and then we will have a few beers and fall asleep very quickly this evening.
And tomorrow, since it's Monday, there won't be any markets, so we don't have to get up quite as early, which is going to be kind of nice.
That's right. So we arrived on Friday, and then we left the hotel at 6:30 in the morning yesterday, and again this morning. So there's a lot of jet lag going on.
Yesterday we didn't get back to the apartment until about 8:30 at night.
It was a 12-hour day yesterday, and probably will be about that today. But tomorrow will be a little lighter, maybe just an 8 or 10-hour day.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
So as you've heard, our days are fully packed, and it's all business. On the weekends, we're up super early to arrive at street markets just as the sun rises and the dealers are putting out their merchandise. Sometimes it's raining or freezing cold, and it usually is always a long walk back to the van, especially when you're carrying a heavy chandelier in each hand. Customers always volunteer to come along on buying trips, and this is where we certainly could use a few extra hands with all that schlepping back and forth from the market to the van, carrying and stowing everything we've bought. And I just wanted to show you a little clip. Today we are driving across the French countryside, and it's in the middle of a snow blizzard. So here I'm showing you out the side of the car, white, and here on the other side, all white, and Greg is doing a very good job keeping us on the road, but this is how we spend a lot of the days on the buying trip, is in the van, driving from one place to the next, and hope that when we get there, there'll be something good to buy. So this is what we do during a lot of the days of the buying trip. If you've ever seen the TV show American Pickers, then you're familiar with the process. We have a big van and we drive from place to place looking for, as Frank and Mike often say, antique gold or a honeypot. Sometimes we hit the jackpot, and some days we come up with not much, which is why we usually spend about 2 weeks on the ground. We fill the van every day and then bring it all back to a central location where the container will be packed. This is Amy at EuroLuxAntiques.com, and we have invited you to come along on the buying trip with us. Today we have really scored, and we found 2 different warehouses where there were chandeliers aplenty. So we have them piled up, and we will have a great selection of chandeliers coming up for you. And then we will now drive this back to our warehouse and unload. So we invite you to come help unload the truck. We always need help doing that. She's in the box. Let's open Mishka up. Oh, Mishka! And Mishka's owner told us that if she was actually on Facebook, she would have the most friends of anyone because she is very friendly. Mishka!
She's also very good at loading vans.
That's right. She's a big help, isn't she?
Yes.
Good job, Mishka.
Buying antiques really is hard work. Sometimes we luck out and find an amazing estate sale, and sometimes we squeeze through warehouses that are just row after row of pieces stacked up to the ceilings. By the end of the day, we are exhausted, and we're spending a great deal of money in a very short period of time, always searching for the absolute highest quality. It is both physically and mentally challenging, but we always joke and say it sure beats working. If you're passionate about what you do, it's a labor of love.
This is a 45-foot container getting ready to be loaded. We normally only ship 40-foot containers, but sometimes we will ship a 45. You can put a lot of furniture in one of these things. You don't really think it, but let me tell you what, you can really put a lot in there. The guy who does our packing is world class, and he can ship almost better. I know he ships better than anybody, and send it in with almost no damage. And you can put a couple hundred pieces of furniture in a container like that if you know what you're doing. But sitting here, he's got his little steps ready to go, and he'll use a forklift and get some of the furniture up in there and pretty much load it by himself with maybe just one other person for a couple hours here and there, just on some stuff that he has to stack really high. But this is how it all starts. And if you look in here, this is not our stuff, but it is a container getting ready to go out, stacked up, and it's all organized, and it's wrapped up and ready to go, and they'll start loading it up. And then as soon as we get this one out of the way, we'll start bringing our stuff in here, and then he'll get ready to pack us up. And there's the forklift he'll use, and that's a warehouse full of stuff.
Hi, I'm Amy at EuroLuxAntiques.com. We've invited you to come along on the buying trip, and we wanted to tell you a little bit about where we stayed. We stayed at Hotel Carolus, which is actually a 15th century brewery. A group of nuns were given permission to brew beer by Charles the Bold back in 1471, and they've been doing it ever since. And so there's a hotel associated with the brewery, which is where we're staying, and there's actually this is the little courtyard outside of our room, and you can see it's part of the brewery. And now we're going to go take a brewery tour.
All of them between 8.5%, 9% of alcohol. These pretty tough beers. Not the kind of beers you want to drink out all night. I keep saying, as long as you have a room in the hotel, you're all right.
Okay.
So what'd you think of the beer tour?
That was pretty cool.
That was pretty awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah. So the 2 of us on the tour by ourselves, and free samples afterwards.
Yeah, and now we were planning to drive somewhere, but we need to walk around for a little while because that 8% proof beer, how'd that make you feel?
A little drunk. That's okay.
Yeah, we have worked so hard this trip that today we really have finished everything we need to do for the container, and so now we get to have a little bit of free time. And so we're going to spend it walking around Mechlin, just enjoying the day and relaxing.
I hope you've enjoyed our behind-the-scenes tour of a European buying trip with EuroluxHome.com. Let me know if I can answer any additional questions for you in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It really helps a small business. Thanks so much for watching.